Every year, over 100 million people go through passport control to get into Britain. Most are welcome and legal, many are not. For the first time on television, we go behind the scenes of the UK Border Agency. The men and women on the front line of immigration. Tonight, dreadful working conditions in Middle England.
How did you enter the UK? In a lorry.
The passenger at Heathrow with a belly full of trouble.
There is something in his bowel.
And panic on the streets of London.
Get hands, get on the front. Get on.
The United Kingdom has a population of over 60 million. Despite the border controls at Britain's entry points, it's estimated there are up to 1 million illegal immigrants living and working in the country. It's the job of the enforcement teams to find these people. One of their latest methods is to go out on the streets and stop anyone they think looks suspicious.
It's an immigration-led street operation at North Greenwich Station, basically looking at the public and anyone reacting to our presence, and thus we'll be stopping them and asking them their immigration status.
Today, immigration officer Vicky Lacey and her team are hitting North Greenwich Tube Station, where they will stop and investigate anyone they suspect of committing immigration offences.
The whole idea of having arrest-trained immigration officers on the street is still very new, and I don't think the majority of the public are aware of our role and what we are doing.
Hello, sir. I'm from the UK Border Agency. Can you tell me what country you come from?
Right. What did you say your wife's name was?
Are you lawfully in the country? Are you lawfully present in this country?
Yeah. What permission have you been given to stay in this country? You have EU. How did you get EU national? Because you were married to, or you are married to?
EU national.
You're married to an EU national. Where's your wife from?
France.
From France. Where's your wife now?
I was in France.
Right. Can you just have a word with my colleagues, please?
Over here for us. Got a runner.
Stop struggling! Please, stay on the front. Excuse me. Stop! It's not a criminal. No, move away. It's not a criminal. It's not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. No. I'm not going to move away. That's a camera there. It's not a criminal. Move away. Don't touch me. Go and control your body. It's not a station. People are carrying knives on the street. You're not catching them. People are trying to make life better for themselves.
We're under arrest for suspicion of entry on the UK on an immigration offence. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something to later on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand that?
Okay, there's no response.
I have to shout because I'm paid. You guys come to Africa, do whatever you're going to do. Don't talk to me like that. What do you mean? Don't talk to me. I'm not a criminal. I'm only talking about rights.
Tell me why you ran.
Sorry?
Why did you run? If you're not a criminal.
Catch my boss.
You catch your bus. You're good. Yeah, okay.
Criminal.
Shuffle back, and lean against the wall.
I beg your pardon?
For what? Hold on.
Calm down.
What's the problem?
Relax.
What? What's that for?
Put your hand. No. Give your hand. Give your hand now, boss. I will use this on you, yeah? Put your hand down.
The guy was getting very aggressive, hands in my face. If I didn't do something then, he could have ended up hitting me. I don't get paid enough for that. Where's my guy that I've nicked now?
Officer Lacey is with the man who tried to stop the arrest.
Do you know that guy? You don't know him? Right, okay. Next time you see someone having a little altercation, if you don't know the reasons behind it, don't get involved, okay? We'll let him go now, take his details and send it off to the local police station. We obviously created a lot of interest from the public. Some people giving us a round of applause, other people thought it was morally wrong, but we're here to do a job, so we do what we're told to do.
Officers questioned the suspected illegal immigrant who tried to escape.
No.
Because you ran away from us. We told you who we were and you ran away from us. All right?
Is that easy, man?
That's the reason why you're under arrest.
Oh, God.
All right, once you can establish to us who you are and if you've got a legitimate reason to be in this country, then you'll be released.
This is, I don't know. I don't understand.
Well,
Might take him to the van. Is that the runner?
yeah. Got the keys.
Keys as well.
I'm just going to put you in here, yeah?
Man, this is not fair.
Stand, mind your head. Mind your head, yeah?
Front left-hand seat.
Front seat, left-hand side. If he was running from the police would do the same thing. We have to do the same thing. Now question him again to find out his identity and his status.
Do you know what he's got? I'll show you what he's got, mate.
I was married to a French girl.
You're married to a French girl. All right, well, first of all, what I'm going to do is find out whether that story's correct, yeah? All right, and then we'll take it from there.
This guy tried to run away from the scene, so we want to just check his details.
The gentleman was given 5 years to remain in the country because he was married to a French national, but we think that has now expired, his EU residency.
Expiry 25th of October 2005 for that application. It extended the condition, but it expired in 2005.
So he's an overstayer.
Yeah.
As the man should no longer be in the UK, a date has been set for his return to Nigeria. He has since appealed against this, and his case is yet to be heard. Heathrow is the world's busiest international airport. The immigration teams are often given advance warning of travellers who may have something to hide. Chief Immigration Officer Matt Dyson has just received some intelligence about a passenger expected from Miami. He's put Officer Lisa Lee on the case.
The records show he has been issued 2 British passports in the last 7 years in this identity.
Yep.
But
Okay.
a Jamaican national submitting the same photographs, in other words, would appear to be the same person,
Yeah.
was landed as a visitor in a different identity in 2001.
All right then.
Okay, if I give
Yep.
you this,
Yep.
it's background information.
Okay.
The Miami flight has landed, and Officer Lee takes up position, ready to stop the Jamaican man with the suspected fake passport.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. Hello, sir. How are you today?
Good.
It's the passenger she's been waiting for.
Where do you live in the UK, sir?
In Bristol.
Okay, sir. I just need to have a quick look at your passport, okay?
No problem. I've been going through for the past 3 days.
Oh, have you? Okay. Won't take a minute.
No problem. That's
All
the
right.
same thing I went through in Miami.
Oh, did you? Oh, dear. It's not your lucky travel then, is it?
Officer Lee plays it cool. She doesn't want the man to think this is anything more than a routine check.
You've been there on holiday?
I was in Trinidad first. Barbados.
Trinidad first, Barbados. You've had a long journey then, haven't you?
The
been out there
passenger's
for
trip
hopping?
to London via Trinidad, Barbados and Miami has taken nearly 3 days.
Okay, so what I'd ask you to do, please, just for a moment, can you just take a seat down there for me, please? And we'll be back with you as soon as possible. All right?
Where is he at the moment?
He's just sat over there.
Okay, I don't want him unattended at any length of time.
Okay.
So if we're going to go straight down now, let's go straight down now.
Yep.
After that, I want him fingerprinting photograph and I want him in the holding box.
Okay,
straight away.
no problem. I'll do it as soon as we come back up.
Thanks.
Thanks. We're just going to go down and have a look through your bags then. All right?
If he's obtained British passports fraudulently, it's actually quite serious. That's a prosecution matter. We may just look to refuse and remove because that might be the more sensible option. But again, we can't make a call on that until we find out what's going on.
His route to London is one often used by drug traffickers. It makes Chief Dyson suspect there may be more to this case than just a fake passport.
I'm also a bit concerned that he might be involved in other activities, and a good check in customs would give us a bit of a pointer on that one.
A good check starts with his luggage.
Do you have the ticket?
Because of the serious nature of this investigation, they've brought in a customs officer to conduct the search. Finally, the customs officer finds something. The passenger is carrying too much booze.
Point out you are 1 litre over your allowance, but because you've been delayed here, it's a gesture of goodwill to let you take that. Okay? Pleasure, sir. Alright.
What next, sir?
Okay, you'll come follow me back upstairs, sir. Nothing found in the bags. They've swabbed them, nothing. No evidence of carrying drugs or having had them in his bags recently.
The passenger's bags may be clear, but there is still the matter of his passport.
What we need to do is just check the background of your passport.
What is the problem?
The problem is we just need to check into the background of your passport, that's all, as I explained to you. Just general inquiries, all right? And just
Again, Officer Lee is careful not to arouse his suspicion that this is anything more than routine. She goes to see her boss for an update.
I've spoken to prosecution unit. They want to prosecute.
Okay.
In this case, so we need to keep our input to a minimum.
To a minimum.
They're going to want details recorded, file making up,
Yeah.
and then they're going to get him arrested.
Okay.
So they're going to arrange for some uniforms to come over and take him away.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
The man will be arrested for having a false passport. But Officer Lee doesn't want to tell him just yet.
What's going to happen now is I need to take your fingerprints, okay? All right, the sooner we get it done, the quicker we can get on.
Next, Officer Lee will take the investigation further. A medical check.
Okay, sir, can you follow me? Because we just need to get you looked at by our doctor. Because we're holding you up, we need to make sure you're fit and healthy. He's going to have to go to the port medical inspector for an X-ray to check that he hasn't swallowed anything. Customs didn't have enough grounds to do an intimate search or an X-ray. Because we're detaining him, we have to make sure he's medically fit. So we do have the authority to take an X-ray. Great, thank you. Come with me, sir. PMI have just X-rayed him.
Yep.
There is something in his bowel.
It looks like the Jamaican will be here for some time. 7 a.m, deep in rural England. An enforcement team have received intelligence that there may be illegal immigrants working at a spring onion farm.
Apparently there are up to 15, 20 nationals, all kind of different nationalities. Apparently possible Iraqi, Indian, Romanians working there. We'll just see what's there when we arrive, really.
Come with me.
Yep.
The rest of you could head that way and start sweeping through.
The 18-strong team split up, hitting 2 buildings where the suspected illegals are working.
Stop what you're doing, put everything down, please. So from immigration, we've come just to need to do a few checks. Does anyone speak English?
Morning, people. Going to need you all to stop what you're doing at the moment because we need to speak to you regarding your immigration status. Anybody got any ID with them? ID? Driving licence? Bank cards? No? Basically, this is a warrant that allows us to come in to your property.
Yeah.
Okay? And speak to your employers.
Yeah.
Okay? That's for you.
How did you enter the UK?
No, I can bring it out alone.
In a lorry?
You 2 sisters?
Yes, sisters, simple.
How long have you been in the UK for?
7.
Sorry?
7th
year.
I got arrived here 5 years ago.
Overstays as far as I'm aware.
Overstay. Illegal entrance. He's a legal entrance. Yeah.
It's
£130 she received last week. कितने घंटे वास्ते कितने दिन काम कर दो?
6 दिन.
Working 6 days a week.
They are being paid £135 for a 40-hour week, which I reckon, top of my head, could be wrong, is about £3.75 an hour, which is obviously a couple of pounds below the national minimum wage.
This is no straightforward matter. The workers are not being employed directly by the farmer, but through an agency.
They're claiming that they work for a company that's an employment agency and does wage slips to prove so.
Obviously, there is a lot going on with regards to gangmasters and forced labour and things like that. They're being quite coy about where they live, saying that the people in the vans pick them up in the morning, bring them to work. So they probably don't earn an awful lot, if anything, but they will work for their accommodation. So somebody's basically forcing them to work here.
It's horrible coming out to a job like this where you see that they're working long hours for little money in conditions that you wouldn't want to keep animals in, really.
But the conditions are relatively poor. It's mud underfoot and pretty horrible outside. They have to work in this unheated room which is leaking profusely.
We're poor back home, and that's why I've come over. We've sold our house and had to sell our land to get to it.
They're not criminals, they're here because they want to better themselves, they want to better their lives. We understand why they do it. If I was put in the situation where I had to feed my kids, and I would do exactly the same thing.
Although employment regulations are being broken, the enforcement team's job is to identify and remove illegal workers.
We believe that you're illegally present in the country, so I'm now arresting you on suspicion of entry without leave.
I understand.
Okay, this gentleman and this lady have both been arrested on suspicion of entry without leave. This gentleman has told us that he's entered on the back of a lorry 4 or 5 years ago, and this lady, pretty much same story.
Arrived here 3 months ago as a visitor through an agent. ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਨਮ ਦਿਨ ਦੀ ਤਰੀਕ 15/2/51 date of birth.
The couple are in fact overstayers, but they have passports, valid passports, at their home address. So the process we'll do now is we've asked if we can go back to their home address to find their passports. They're happy with that, so we're actually going to return them to their home address now, take them back there, find the passports, and they can get on a flight and go home.
Basically, they've both arrived on visit visas, which were valid for 6 months in 2007, and they've overstayed since then.
Of the 20 people working here, 17 were found to be illegal immigrants. Most have been temporarily released, while papers needed to remove them are prepared, and others have absconded, their whereabouts unknown. Only 2 have so far been removed from Britain. The agency that supplied the illegal workers was fined £85,000. In London, the enforcement team, led by Officer Shane Healy, prepare for another street operation.
We're going to Stratford station. Once I deploy you on the scene, the spotters will observe the passengers embarking and disembarking, and any individuals who draw themselves to the attention of officers by acting, for example, nervously or acting in an odd or inappropriate manner, will be approached by the officers and questioned regarding their immigration status. OK then, if we can go to the vehicles now.
Enforcement teams have been running street operations since 2006. The London team carry out up to 3 each week. It's the morning rush hour. Each day, almost 100,000 people pass through the transport links here at Stratford in East London. As commuters rub shoulders with each other, there are some who hide a secret from the authorities and have no legal right to be here. Today's enforcement team has the difficult task of finding them.
We'll have a team here who will interview people who bring themselves to our attention, and we'll determine their status. If they're unlawfully present, they'll be arrested and either taken to immigration detention or to a local police station for further interview.
These type of operations, we don't go away with an empty van, if you like. You know, there's always somebody. You'd be surprised the number of people that we do come across on these type of operations.
2 members of the team act as spotters, watching the crowds. Officers have the legal right to stop and question anyone reacting nervously to their presence.
Hello, you're right. We're from the immigration service.
Yes, boss.
Yes, how you doing? You're right. From the Home Office. Yeah. From quite a distance, he's noticed us, and he shuffled to the left, shuffled to the right, shuffled to the left. I shuffled to the left, he shuffled to the right. He looked at my warrant card. We're from the Home Office immigration. Asked him where he's from. He said he's from Pakistan. I asked him if he's got a visa. No visa? All right, come with me then.
As the man has admitted he has no UK visa, he's questioned further by arresting officer Littington.
Well, how long have you been in this country? How long? 3 months. Where are you living? Above the Kebabish on Green Street? Okay. Do you work at the Kebabish? Yes. You work at the Kebabish?
All right. Are you going to work?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Have you got any ID on you? Identification?
Indian, yeah?
Yeah.
You Indian?
Yeah. Have you got a visa in the UK? All right, can I talk to you over there then, please? Yeah?
Many of the people stopped can only speak broken English, but some officers are able to interpret.
He explains he's been handcuffed because he's in an open area. He doesn't have to say anything, but it may harm his defence. He doesn't mention when questioned something.
With the man having confessed to living and working illegally in the UK, the team have their first arrest and another suspect to question.
He's now being questioned in Hindi because he speaks Hindi, hence my colleague here who speaks Hindi is taken over the questioning at this point to establish exactly how he came in and when, so we can work out where we go from here.
He's admitted that he came into the UK a year ago. He came from Belgium in the back of a lorry. He paid an agent some €3,500 to get here, and he's admitted that he's here illegally.
You're under arrest. Okay, I'm arresting you on suspicion of being an illegal entrant in the United Kingdom. Okay, you understand that? You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something you later rely on in court. Anything you say may be given in evidence. Okay, you understand that? All right. Okay. Do you want to take your bag off? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Just going to search your bag. Okay.
What have you got in your pockets?
Anything that relates to his identity and nationality. Anything might indicate where he lives. Basically identification.
So that's your friend's bill?
Yeah.
That's not you?
He'll go to India.
Your friend's gone back to India?
Yeah.
Okay. Why have you got this? Why do you have this? Why have you got this?
No, I am pay bill.
You're going to pay it for him?
Yeah.
And there's more incriminating evidence.
You know you shouldn't have this.
You shouldn't have someone else's bank card. He's my friend, he hasn't got my bank card.
He's got a bank card in there which is in a different name to what he's given us. He's stating that it's his friend's, but he shouldn't be walking the street with somebody else's bank card in his property. Okay? Okay. All right? All right, you come with me.
Yeah.
Do you want to let him know we're coming up?
Yeah.
With 2 arrests in the first hour, it looks like it will be a busy morning for the enforcement team. Heathrow has seen its fair share of drug smugglers over the years. And even while airport detection systems around the world are improving, there are still those who like to try their luck.
Where do you live in the UK, sir?
This man came into Heathrow on a suspected false passport, but the immigration officers had a hunch that he was a drug trafficker.
What we've got here again is, you can see here, I think that's a little cluster actually because of the viewpoint.
Yep.
Over here, here, very, very tiny.
Yeah, there's one there, look, as well.
Yep. This area here is excess gas, which is being produced by holding this stuff.
An X-ray taken at the airport reveals the man had suspicious packages in his stomach.
The doctor is 99% sure that the objects in the passenger's lower intestine are foreign objects. So the officers from Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs are going to go and speak to him now. Mr. Martin, would you come out, please?
Now, the doctor feels that there are foreign objects in your body system. We have no alternative, I'm afraid, and I'm arresting you on suspicion of being involved in the importation of a controlled drug. I must caution you that you do not have to say anything, but if you fail to mention when questioned something that you later rely on in court.
Because this is not a unique occurrence here at Heathrow, Customs have installed a special drugs toilet that will collect the evidence.
Once we've identified smugglers with packages of drugs concealed internally, we escort them to facilities like this. They sit on the toilet area up there. They pass the packages through.
Then we'll switch the water on and we will generally clean the packages like that. We put the packages in the jar
and then these are secured away as evidence.
If he's found to be smuggling drugs, then it's a whole new ballgame. He'll enter a kind of a different area of prosecution, and that will take the lead, particularly if he's swallowed them, because there's a health risk there. So he'll be observed by customs until he passes them.
During the course of the day, after 2 sittings, 96 packets of cocaine were recovered.
I would imagine there was a sense of relief though, because he knew he'd been found out. He knew there was no escape, and he probably just thought, I want to get rid of what's in there, because who knows what could have happened to him if one of them had burst or something.
If just one of the packets had burst, it would have been enough to kill him. The man pleaded guilty to drug smuggling and travelling on a false passport. He was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison, after which he will be deported back to Jamaica. At Stratford Station in East London, immigration officers Williams and Healy are questioning a Nigerian man.
You just going to work now?
Yes.
The man first told them he had a work visa, but now claims he has indefinite leave to stay in Britain.
You had a visa?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the visa for? Do you remember? What kind of visa?
What kind of visa?
Yes.
What do you mean by what kind of visa?
See, if you're telling the truth,
Yeah.
you'd know the answer to that. There's different sorts of visas, and you know what you applied for. It must have been quite a big occasion you come into the UK, so you know what visa you applied for. So you obviously didn't, did you?
No,
I don't know if you want to start thinking again about what you've told us, because at the moment nothing's making any sense, is it? Do you think your story sounds good? Do you think your story sounds credible?
No, it's up to you, because I want you to believe what I said to you.
It's up to you to prove to me that you're legally in the UK. I don't have to prove anything. You have to prove to me that you're legally here.
Like how?
Well, exactly. You walk about with no identification on you whatsoever. You tell me you've got a work visa, then you change it to indefinite leave.
The officers are not getting any straight answers, so they try to track the man down on the immigration database. But for this, they need his date of birth.
Yeah. What's your date of birth?
1984.
It says 1984.
Yeah.
Let's think of some days as well, shall we? Months?
No, he's not sure. What's your date of birth? Come on.
It's 1984, but
You can't remember your date of birth?
It's the day you get all the cards.
84.
I'm a lot older than you, and I can still remember my date of birth.
Yeah.
How can you not know your date of birth?
How old are you?
Yeah.
How old are you?
How old am I?
Yes.
It's 1984.
Yeah, well, how old are you? No, we have no trace of you. We have no trace of that name at all.
Of his name? No traces? No.
It means that nobody with that name and that date of birth has got indefinite leave.
That's what you mean?
That's what it means. So do you want to change what you're saying now?
Like how? What do you want me to do?
Well, what I want you to do is tell the truth, because if you had indefinite leave, you'd be on our system, wouldn't you? So why don't you give me your real details, then we can make a decision on what's going to happen next.
I don't know.
You do know?
Okay.
Can I write your real name, real date of birth? At the moment, you're giving no options at all, are you? You are going to be arrested, you carry on.
No. No, I'm not going to be arrested. No.
Some people are using so many identities that they do trip themselves up and they get confused and don't remember who they're supposed to be today. And, you know, if you're going to use different identities, then I suppose you are going to get slightly confused now and again.
Realising he's being caught out, the Nigerian finally explains his reasons for being in Britain.
To be honest with you, this is the reason I came to this country, this name. And I can't play volleyball.
And you overstayed?
Yeah.
Why didn't you go back?
Yeah, because when I finished playing, the church needs me, a charity. So I was here doing the charity work.
That sounds honest. When did your visa expire? When were you supposed to go back?
It's 6 months. I supposed to go.
6 months?
Yeah.
He appears to have overstayed. He certainly has no legitimate basis from what we can see of being here. We will take him to an immigration holding centre and deal with him from there.
7 years ago, this man came to Britain to play volleyball on a 6-month sports visa. The life he has made for himself in this country will soon be over. He has agreed to a voluntary departure date back to Nigeria.
Watch your head as you go in there, yeah?
The team made a total of 7 arrests during the street operation at Stratford. 6 men were given temporary release, but all have failed to show up at a reporting centre. They are listed as absconders on the police national computer. At Terminal 3, a flight from Chicago has arrived. A passenger who claims to be a doctor has been stopped by immigration officer Bridget Hall. The man was born in Africa and has been living in the US for the last 10 years.
He lives in the States, he's got a green card, so he's a permanent resident there. He wants to transit through the UK to get his flight at Gatwick, which should be leaving in about 5 hours or so, back to Sierra Leone.
Nationals from Sierra Leone must have a visit or transit visa to pass through Heathrow. The passenger has applied for both and been refused. All of this requires further investigation.
So he's turned up today with no visa, 2 refusals behind him, and a flight that's leaving this afternoon, and he wants to try and get on that.
Officer Hall needs to be sure the passenger won't stay on in Britain if she grants him access to catch his connecting flight.
I've seen the ticket, so I do know he's got an onward flight, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go on it. Quite often they'll get an onward flight, and it's a small outlay for them gaining entry into the UK.
So before she issues a visa, she must be satisfied his story rings true.
It's a bit strange that somebody would want to give up a good life in America, so we've got to check his bags. Now, as he is returning permanently, he's got about 6 pieces of luggage, so myself and a colleague are going to go down, search through his bags quickly and make sure there's nothing that we should be concerned about. Thank you.
And straight away, the search throws up some surprises.
It's a gift. Oh, okay. Just thought I'd check. Directly as you come across on that one over there. Cheers, mate. What's this for, sir? The potassium tablets?
This is an antihypertensive.
What's Ezidrex? What's indomethacin for? The metformin? Lovastatin?
Lovastatin is anti-cholesterol.
So have you got high blood pressure as well?
Yeah, high blood pressure.
It's a good job you're a doctor then, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the reasons you will refuse your visa is you are unable to prove that you have this job, that you are a working doctor. So I need to see some evidence to show me that.
No, not as of now. I was, before 1997.
When you go back to Freetown, you're not a registered doctor? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, when I arrive, I'm going to register and do everything.
But you're not yet?
But you're not yet.
Yes. So why have you got this prescription pad?
This one?
Uh-huh.
This prescription pad is one that I had.
And now there's more to arouse the officer's suspicion.
Whose passport is this, sir?
Well, I cannot see. Maybe my father or maybe my brother. I don't know.
Okay, who's this woman? Khadisha Hariri.
Oh, that's my sister.
Who's Jonathan Fawaz?
Fawaz.
Who's that?
That's my cousin brother.
Your cousin's brother?
Yes.
A lot of stuff isn't adding up. He's going back to Sierra Leone to live, but yet he's not got anything of his own there. I've searched all your bags, I've done it myself, all of your bags, and you have no clothes belonging to you. It's now making more sense why he was possibly refused his visa on both occasions. I now have to look at things in a different light. I'm not sure whether he's going to be getting on his flight.
Because of the unusual contents found in the man's bags, Officer Hall has a lot of questions to put to him.
Did you apply for a visa to transit through the UK?
Yes, but I applied for the wrong transit visa. It's a visit in transit visa, which they denied.
If you were denied your visa, why did you still decide to travel here?
I consulted the British Embassy consulate in New York. They said that as long as I have a permanent resident card, connecting flight within 24 hours, I don't need.
Ideally not a problem, but the fact that you had these refusals kind of changes everything.
Okay.
You had Sierra Leone passports belonging to other people. Why is this?
Well, these are my brothers and sisters. They have not been to that country, for some of them, for over 30 years. So they gave me their passports to go renew their passports.
Do you have any evidence that you are still a registered doctor? Because the paperwork that I saw in your baggage search was all very old.
I am not a registered doctor in Sierra Leone because I have just gone there after 10 years of absence due to the civil war.
That's the end of our interview. If you just want to sign here for me.
After the interview, Officer Hall passes on her concerns to Chief Officer Dyson.
He's got a prescription pad, he's got untold medication for various ailments. He's got a card.
Isn't he supposed to be a doctor?
He said he's a doctor, but he's not registered anymore. He's a nursing aide, like an auxiliary nurse.
Hence he couldn't show the visa officer that he was a doctor.
Exactly.
But he told the visa officer.
And that's what he led me to believe when I first spoke to him, that, yeah, I'm a doctor, I'm registered.
I don't think you really need to come back to me with this one. I think...
this is a refusal then,
I think we're agreed on this. He may well be going on to Sierra Leone, but I'm not taking that chance.
Yeah, okay.
There are too many variables in this, so if you're comfortable with that...
Yeah.
Back to the States, ASAP?
Yep, we'll do.
The passenger arrived at Heathrow without a UK transit visa. His luggage aroused suspicion and he lied about his job. Officer Hall can't trust him to catch his flight on to Sierra Leone.
There is nothing new in front of me today that would let me consider reviewing the decision to deny you a visa to come to the UK in order to transit. You should be refused entry, in which case we'll have to put you on a plane back to Chicago.
What's going to happen now? Where are we at?
I'm going to go back to the holding room now, and then you'll be escorted down to the flight.
If the man wishes to travel to Sierra Leone, he will have to get the correct documents or take a route that doesn't pass through Britain. At Heathrow, Immigration Officer Hall has another case. She has stopped a 19-year-old Canadian who's also an online gaming fan.
He's coming here for 4 months to visit his girlfriend, who's a British national. By his own admission, he's got very limited funds, £900, 4 months. He doesn't have a credit card to back it up. Mr. Sacconi? Hello. My name's Bridget. I'm going to be dealing with your case today. £900, 4 months. OK, even if you're staying at a friend's house, we all live in the UK, we know how expensive it can be. Anything could happen. He could need emergency treatment, who knows? You know, that £900 isn't going to go very far. Catherine?
Thank you.
Is anyone meeting you today, sir?
Yes, my girlfriend should be here.
If you just look here for me. Now, your girlfriend's name Kira May. Is that Kira May is her first name or May is her surname? Like her family name? OK. All right, we'll go through to the interview room. Some of the questions may be quite probing. I don't want to upset you at all, but I have to get a really clear answer. So, how do you know your girlfriend?
I met her online playing a computer game.
When was this?
I originally met her about a year ago.
And we're talking online, we're not talking face-to-face at that point. OK. Have you ever met your girlfriend in person? No.
First time today, hopefully.
Officer Hall is concerned that if things go well for the Canadian and his girlfriend, he may be tempted to stay on in the UK. Perhaps a call to his girlfriend will set things straight.
Hello, can I speak to Kira May, please? You are expecting him today, are you? OK. Can I just ask, how do you know him? How long ago? So you'd say that you've known Glenn for a total of 4 or 5 weeks, yeah? No longer than that? Because he actually told me he'd met you a year ago. Well, obviously, we're not sure whether we're going to allow him into the UK at this moment in time. I'm going to have to go back to him and just, obviously put that discrepancy to him. Is there, are you going to be contactable on this number again? Because I think he may want to speak to you. OK. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you. Bye-bye. It's a man. It's a man. Yeah, that was a man. I said, can I speak to Kira? Yeah, that's me. Now, unless she's got a really sore throat, that's a man.
As Officer Hall now knows the passenger's internet girlfriend is male and the two have never met, she must tread carefully if the news is not to come as a shock.
Have you spoken to your sponsor on the phone at all?
It's always been online.
This is going to sound like a mad question. Bear with me, OK? What sex is your sponsor?
Yeah.
OK. Well, you said girlfriend.
She's a girlfriend. She's...
Oh, God, so you could have saved me lots of time, sir.
Yeah,
we don't have a problem with people Having boyfriends at all?
No, it's, well...
So I was concerned then. I thought you didn't know.
No, I know.
Okay.
Complicated.
Right. Now, we have a little problem.
Okay.
Your sponsor told me you had only met 4 or 5 weeks ago.
As a relationship, yeah.
Well, online. He said online.
Really?
That they met, yeah. So you're saying as a relationship, yes, but...
I swear I've known him longer than that, through the game.
Officer Hall is still concerned about the man's limited funds, but the passenger claims he'll get help from his girlfriend's mother.
I have to be sure, again, that he's going to leave when he says he will, and without speaking to the sponsor's mum and knowing that she's happy for him to be here, she's happy to support them financially. You know, it's all second-hand information. Oh, hello. Hi. How do you know Glenn, please? The amount of money he has available to him, which is rather limited given the time he wants to stay. I'm just wondering, I mean, if it came to it, would you be in a position where you would be able to support him financially? Right. Can I just...
The mother's willingness to help the passenger financially could be enough to convince Officer Hall to grant entry. But first, she must run it by her boss.
Shortly. OK, bye. I need to speak to you, Matt.
Yeah.
That was the mum.
Sponsor's mum.
Sponsor's mum. She's known about this all along. She's more than happy to support him whilst he's here. I want to land him.
You do?
I do. Initially, no. You know what? I thought it was a refusal, but I've spoken to everybody involved now. I cannot, in good faith, refuse this man when I think that I tend to agree with him and I think he will go home.
Fair enough.
OK.
That's the landing then.
Brilliant, thank you. So now I have the happy task of letting my passenger out on his holiday. I'm going to allow you in for your holiday. The only proviso is I have landed you, so I've put a stamp in your passport until the date of your return ticket.
Perfect.
So you have to leave on or before this date.
Okay.